Gogos is a monster that appeared in Jankuji Temple in Nara during the Hidatora period. The legend is mainly popular in Nara Prefecture. Gogos was lured by evil people to do something against the rules of the temple and was buried alive in the temple. He was buried alive in the temple after his death. The spirit of the man was still alive and turned into a demon. On the night after his death, he came out, wrapped in a shroud, and attacked the young monk. He was well known for eating children. After that, he usually appears in the middle of the night, or he would appear as a monk. Sometimes he looks like a young cleric ringing a bell in a hall. Gogos is so brutal that those who encounter him will be drained of their blood, and their souls may be controlled by him. The blood of those who encountered him would be drained, and their souls could be controlled by it. No one has been able to subdue it for a long time. He worked in Jankuji Temple during his life. After his death, he became a ghost and hid in the temple's bell hall. Every night, he would appear to kill the children who rang the bell. In order to subdue Jankuji Temple, the temple invited a boy with divine power given by the god of thunder. This boy was born during the reign of Emperor Minda in a village in Ayukichi-gun, Wari province. There was a couple who had been trying to have baby. One day, a god with a baby-like figure suddenly fell from the sky. It turned out to be the god of thunder. The couple intended to kill the god of thunder because it is said that killing the god of thunder can live 100 years. God of thunder, who is temporarily lost the power, begged the couples to be merciful if they build a boat for him to return to the heavenly realm safely. Then Thor will bless them to have children. The two couples agreed and built a boat for him to return to the heavenly realm as the god of thunder wanted. Soon afterwards, the couple had a son. The child was born with great strength, and at the age of 10, he possessed the divine courage of a king. Once he won a Hercules competition organized by the government. It was a pity that such a Hercules was a peasant. One of the ministers in charge of the government, called Soganumako, he saw his potential and wanted him to work in his own building. He wanted him to be a temple guardian because the clock tower of Jankuji Temple was always haunted at that time. Many children were captured and eaten by the demons. Soganumako sent a boy of immense strength to collect the demons. The boy placed a lamp at each corner of the bell tower and had four monks stand by the lamps. He told them that once he caught the demon in Jankuji Temple, he would open the lampshades at the same time and illuminate the four corners of the temple. At the end of the night, the boy hid in the hall of hanging bells. When Gogos appeared and found the boy hiding there, he fled in a panic. The boy grabbed him by the hair and pulled him down by the scalp. Then Gogos fled. The next day, people followed the trail of blood left behind by Gogos and finally found the temple where the evil spirit was buried. It was said that Gogos was transformed by the ghosts of these evil people. To this day, the hair pulled off by the boy is still kept in the temple and has become a treasure of the temple. Nuriana, also known as Sea Maiden and Sea Lady, is a kind of female demon of the sea. She has a serpentine body with a human face, a gaping mouth and sharp teeth. She has a forked tongue and a long tail like a snake. Her whole body is immersed in water and looks like a rock. When viewed from behind, Nuriana is usually found at sea and is said to be the spirit of the sea. Also is said to be the soul of a person who drowned in the sea. She usually sits on a rock by the sea, with only the top part of her female body showing. She combs her hair in a bewitching manner. If someone is attracted to her beauty and accosts him, she will entangle him with her tail, open her mouth, and spit out a tongue with a snake's tongue. She will then open her mouth, spit out her tongue, and eat the person in one bite. In Kagoshima Prefecture, there is a legend that if you look at the Nuriana, you will get sick and die. Therefore, in order not to meet the Nuriana, the fishermen do not go out to sea on the nights of Oben, New Year's Eve, and the 18th of July in order not to meet her. Once upon a time, there was a river on the border between Niigata Prefecture and Fukushima Prefecture. There were many willow trees along the river. The willow trees had no owners, so they became a good place for willow weavers to get materials. One time, some young people wanted to make some money other weavers, they rowed out the boats before them and tried to cut down the shoots of the willow trees. However, due to a lack of experience, they did not succeed. Later, the boat was swept by the river to the fork of the river. The young men saw a woman washing her hair. In such a desolate place, they hurried back to the boat. At that moment, another boat of their people came and asked them what had happened. They asked them what had happened. There's a Nuriana, the companion, who had come to the boat, laughed, and rowed off towards the forks. After a while, screams of terror were heard in the distance. The rest of the young people fled in a hurry. According to the old people, Nuriana's tail can stretch 3 tons about 327 meters long, and if it is found, no matter how long it takes to escape, it would never be able to stop, no matter how far they ran. If they were found by her, they would be swept back. Later on, those people never came back. They searched everywhere, but couldn't even find the bodies or the boat. Ushioni is a combination of a bull and a demon, with a head like a bull, but the body is like a spider and can spit out venom. It has the recklessness and bulkiness of a bull, and the ferocity and cruelty of a demon. It is a very contradictory monster. It has a ferocious nature and will attack humans. They usually live in the water, and some also live in the mountains. Guanyin Temple in Tanushimaru, Ukiha County, Fukuoka Prefecture. The abbot, Kanamitsu Shinin, once eliminated the bull demons that disturbed the village and preserved the bones of one of its hands. There are 2 hooves and 3 fingers in front of the hand bones. Unlike the hooves or claws of animals such as pigs, bulls, horses, dogs, and cats, the shape is very strange. However, the most famous legend of defeating the Ushioni occurred at Neshian Temple. According to legend, there lives a very powerful bull ghost in the mountains near Shioji Town, Kagawa Prefecture. It has horns on its head, a face like a monkey, and a body like a tiger. The hands and feet are like those of an ox, and there are bat-like wings under its armpits. It appears at night with a terrifying roar and disappears like a ghost, and it often comes down the mountain at night and harms people and livestock. The villagers in the nearby area are miserable, so the villagers recommended a person to go to Kyoto, who is the famous archer Yamada Takakio, to punish the Ushioni for them. After Takakio came to the village, he went directly into the mountains, but the Ushioni mentioned by the villagers was not found. After a few days, there was still no sign of the Ushioni, so he thought it was a prank by the villagers. That night, the Ushioni appeared, but when Takakio arrived, Ushioni had already disappeared. The villagers are very distressed because they are the only ones who can see the Ushioni, and Takakio can't see it. He doesn't know what to do, so Takakio came to Neshian Temple and asked Guanyin Bodhisattva for guidance. The Bodhisattva entrusted him with a dream at night and asked him to fast for 7 days, and then his wish would be fulfilled. Sure enough, after going on a hunger strike for 7 days, he went up the mountain again and saw Ushioni. He looked behind the big tree and secretly fired a silence arrow straight into the Ushioni's eye. Not only did the Ushioni, who was shot by the arrow, not die, but he was also irritated, rushing towards him violently. Takakio released the second arrow calmly. The arrow hit the open mouth of Ushioni and penetrated directly into the throat. The Ushioni whined and ran away with blood foam all over the ground. A few days later, Takakio led everyone to follow the bloodstains on the ground and found Ushioni's cave. Takakio was worried that the evil spirits of Ushionis would be hunted, so he cut off the horns of the Ushioni and took them back, placed it in front of the statue of Guanyin Bodhisattva in the temple. This way it won't do harm to others. In the Sanan area, bull ghosts live in the sea and come to the seaside from time to time, attacking people on the beach. Ushioni lives ferocious and likes to eat people. When it finds its prey, it will chase it after it until it gets the prey. Therefore, the prey it targets, mainly humans, cannot escape. However, people in Shikoku and the Ki Peninsula believe that Ushigeki live in rivers. In Tosayama Village, Tosa County, Koki Prefecture. Today's Koki City, Japan. There is an abyss called Ushioni Abyss. There is also such a story circulating here. There are many fish in Ushioni Abyss, but no one dared to fish for fear of Ushioni. There was a rich man named Takase who wanted to catch these fish in the abyss. The Ushioni turned into a beautiful woman and asked him in his dream to dissuade him. The rich man didn't listen, so he still caught fish from the deep. When he was feasting with the fish, there was a sound of thunder and a landslide. The rich man's family was all buried.
Ushioni.
Nupepo is a demon with no eyes or nose. It sucks things through its extra flesh and has no ability to think. It is one of the lowest level of the monsters. They are often found in Kyoto. It is said that at the end of the year, it sleeps in uninhabited temples. A strange creature suddenly appeared in Sunpyu Castle, where Tokugawa Ieyasu lived. The creature itself was like a large piece of meat. It was shaped like a lump of clay and had hands but no fingers, and it pointed its hands in the direction of Kyoto without moving. The monster was later driven away by Tokugawa Ieyasu's guards. There's a similar record in the Chinese Shirazawa, called Fang. Nupepo appears at night in deserted temples. One day, a monk was walking in the deserted countryside. He found an abandoned temple and planned to spend the night there. Late at night, there was a rustling sound, and the odor of dead bodies could be smelled. The monk woke up and looked around and found something walking slowly towards him. The monk shouted, "Who is it?" But there was no response. Upon closer inspection, it turned out to be a lump of meat, and the monk was shocked. No one knew what the meat man was up to. When he came out at night, it walked from the temple to the street aimlessly. It seemed to be satisfied to see the astonished faces of the people, though it did not do any harm. The thought of a mass of flesh walking down the street made people uncomfortable. Nupepo doesn't have bare faces like the faceless men and the faceless monsters. You can still see some of their faces. If you put clothes on them, it becomes a monster with a
huge pie face.
Nepepo.